Hey guys, this is Colin, or Coach K on Twitter, former golf coach and college player. Just going to break down Eli's number 15 at Greenbrier. He says it's not a driver hole. I think it's more of a issue with his target selection. So let's break in and see how he could play the hole better, and maybe he'll edge out Mike more. I'm still rooting for you, Mike, but my coach and me is wanting to get this fixed. All right, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to get hopped in. You can see on the screen, we have the course pulled up. So to just show you which hole it is, it's this one that my mouse is moving over right here. I will be zooming in and out to make sure I get pretty close distances. But with that being said, this tee box right here should be the tips. Now, Mike and Eli, if it's not that one, let me know. I will make a new video, but if it's not that one, it makes this hole very short. So just going to get started here. Let's find what 300 yards is. So if I just select here, you can't see the ruler, but this is 300 yards on the spot. I've already drawn this out. You can see the blue line right there. So we have our 300-yard line. We know how far it is. Now, the reason why I believe this is a driver hole and nothing ever other than that, unless like your driver is just so bad and you're topping it like you were in Ireland, is you go here to cover the bunker. It is 265 yards, Gary. If I back down a little bit to stay short of the bunker, it's 237. Now that's, he might hit an iron and just roll up or whatever. The issue with it though is not this distance alone, but at 300 yards, we'll just go from right here to the middle of the green. It's 111 yards. And we'll talk more about this in a moment. Vice versa, we go from the top side of the bunker. It's 150 yards. So it's 40 extra yards further. That is incredibly difficult. I mean, like I said, I know he's on a heater of his approach play. That's great. But why make it even harder? Then we go back to here. So the back side of the bunker, let's say you stay short of it because you don't want to bring it in. Center of the green, 180 yards. So you went from 111, 150, 180. Like, that is unreal. Like, that's just not an option to me, because hitting out of a fairway bunker, you're not going to have a shot at the green. 180 yards, your percentage of hitting the green tour average is 63% from the fairway. That's not including the rough. I have the stats here. I would even say your tour average percentage from 110 yards is 83%. Now that's not the thing that really gets you though. The thing that will really bite you or nip you in the butt, I would say, is it's going to be the proximity distance. So I have it pulled up here. From 110 yards, all shots from the fairway, average at proximity is 19 feet 10 inches. We'll call it 20 feet, dead even. From 150 yards, 76% balls hit green in regulation. But mind you, that's hitting a perfect shot that just barely covers the bunker. That number is 25 feet. And then lastly, from 180 yards, that, as I said, green hit percentage from the fairway is 63%. Your average proximity is 33 feet and 7 inches. So we'll call it 34 feet. That is a 15-foot more dispersion. One, you will two putt all the time from 20 feet unless you ram it by or have no speed control, something happens. 33 feet, that three putt's going to get more common. That means you might be off the green. You might be chipping, right? The green doesn't look necessarily very wide, and we can see that from here. So to me, already, this is a driving hole. But then let's dive into why, right? Why should Eli hit driver every time? And then if he doesn't, right, where does he aim to stay short? And is he gaining? He's really losing. If we were to look at strokes gain John Sherman, everyone would be like, you got to hit driver. Strokes gains just benefits you. So let's go here. So I just got to clear this line again. So I've already done a lot of the work here, but if Eli's going to hit driver, we want to avoid water, right? This is probably sloping down in some format towards that water. So if that's the case, right, from the edge of the fairway to the water is about 10 yards. So I'm going to give the grace room and aim at least 10 more yards to the right here. So if I go here, we already drawn that line. You can see there's 10 yards. So 10 yards from the left edge, tour players need 60 yards of room on average. So if we were at 300 yards, I should mention, so that's the distance we're going from. So if I were to go here and choose 60 yards, that's a lot of green space. That gives you almost the whole fairway. And then I would say, and you can see I've drawn it right there, that's 27 yards of rough. So it's really not that bad. Now, if I come back to the tee box where we were, right, I've already drawn this line. We can see here, this doesn't, if he takes this left aim, right, he has to barely cover the water, but that's not where he should aim, right? As we talked, right, we're talking driver cones, right? And I'll talk about this more at the end. Why do we aim 60 yards or have a 60-yard dispersion? And why do we aim as far as we do? So then I'm going to go here on the right, go here. So this would be his hypothetical landing zone. Well, Colin, it still has the bunker. Yeah, but if he mishits it and he goes into bunker with a driver, yeah, that's, you know, that sucks, but it shouldn't be the water. And he is giving himself the best advantage to hit past the bunker. Well, and then there's like, well, there's some trees over there, right? I will be in the trees all day without a shadow of a doubt and punch out, hit my third shot on from 80 yards or potentially, and then make my 2-putt for a bogey versus literally handcuffing myself and having a 180-yard shot into a green and then literally having to stick the ball with inside 30 feet from 180 yards, which we talked about. The two best players in the world don't even do that on average. So we got here a good line on the right. Where does Eli need the aim then? So if we're looking here, I'm going to say a pretty good aim is going to be this tree back here on the right or the edge of the fairway. So if I were to go here to this side of here, it is 33.5 yards. That gives him 43 yards left to miss the ball potentially, knowing it could probably still roll in. If you hook a ball 43 yards to the left, it was going to go left. Like there's just no shot. There's no shot about it. Like it's going left and you can't control it. But remember, Eli's playing a fade now. So the ball should start slightly to the left or slightly to the right and curve back to the right. So this really should only allow him room to play. So we go here. I already have that line drawn out. It is pink. Sorry, Eli. No offense. Now, one thing that if we do remember from the last pod, Eli gets this hole, he sees red. It's because he does not know how to play it. This is the play, right? Right edge of the fairway in line with this tree. Without shadow of doubt, that's what I'm picking. Shoot, if he's not even comfortable with that, you could go for the cart path. You're still going to be short of this bunker. Well, Colin, he's got to hit over the tree. Awesome. He's not in the water. He's not caught back here. He's not caught up here, right? He's not re-teeing. Secondly, he could probably get a wedge over that tree, or he punches out under it and he's right here and he has a 50-yard shot into the green. Odds are with him. So if we go here and we look at the target line for him, target line here to that edge, that's the line right there. His line only crosses what, 10 feet of water? It doesn't even look at this side unless Eli needs to go and work on aiming again. If he does, Larry, you got him. So if this is me, right, this is a driver hole every time. You have too much room to the right open. I don't care if the rough is super thick, right? Because let's just say, let's play devil's advocate, right? If he stays shorter, I'll choose some different colors here, but let's say he plays wedge, or not wedge, iron. Then he gets out there to 220. Now, mind you, right, we want to aim away from the water. So we're going to do this again. We're going to go here. We'll give him 6 yards from the edge, right? So at 225 yards, a scratch player needs a target width of 23 yards and 12 yards from actually any water. So that actually is not even graceful enough for me picking that spot right there. So we'll go 23 yards though. Hypothetically, he should be in the fairway every time. Hypothetically. We'll make this purple so we understand that that would be his hypothetical landing zone. Cool. He could even go more right. He does have that room, but that's a long ways away, guys. And that's if he carries it exactly to that. It's 190 yards to the green. That's, mind you, that's 220 yard shot off the tee. At 200 yards, the shot pattern you need is still 23 yards wide. So we'll go here. We'll say 100, and that's actually up. That's from 175 to 225. So we got 190 center. 23 yards is the whole width of the green. Now, mind you, he's got to clear the bunkers. He has to have a perfect strike, clear the bunkers every time. He's probably not going to be on the green every time. And as we remember, at 180 and now 190, average proximity from the fairway is 38 feet. And at 110, it is 19 feet. That is 20 feet more. Yeah, 20 feet more. This is a driver hole. Eli, listen to me. Listen. I love you. You are a great golfer. Your strokes gains for a driver does not make sense. It is not a swing issue. You think it is a swing issue. It's not. It is a target selection issue. That is the biggest thing I'm saying. This is the biggest example of it. We talked on the pod that you talked on the pod, pardon me, that you were aiming more left to play for the fade. You're playing for the fairway, but you didn't give yourself any room to go left. Mind you, like even the best players in the world hit left of their target line. So if you're going here and playing for that fade, you only have 8 yards left. Now you have like 50 yards right. This be really great. You're not hitting slices. A cut should be a 40-yard movement. We pick this line right here. This gives you 33 yards from the left of fairway. And it gives you 10 more yards. I mean, you're probably going to roll into the water. So that's my biggest thing. Now, the reason why, right? The biggest thing I would say is we're not quite getting to here is the pattern, right? So let's talk about a shotgun pattern. So this is kind of your ideal. Now, if I click here on the center of this, I am going to take this to the edge. So this is 34 yards left. That will be 34 yards to the right as well. Here, top to bottom. That's 33 yards short. So that would be a really bad hit drive. So you can see kind of how this would already start shaking out, but let's talk about it. We're not going to hit driver straight. We're not going to hit it with the same slight 5-yard cut on it, 5-yard fade for the barber himself, Eli. And we're not going to start the ball in the same line every time. So if that were the case, right, sometimes I might start the ball here and it comes back and it lands right here. And so what happens then is we start having little circles, and it's called like a shotgun pattern or shotgun spray, right? If you shoot a shotgun, it's going to just hit all over. There's, the center of it's going to be the darkest, but then your outskirts, they're going to be far and few between, but they're still there. That's all this circle is playing for. It's just giving you an opportunity to make your hardest and your worst shot still playable. But this is the way, Eli. You just need to aim more right. Just because you're playing a fade doesn't mean you get to aim left. And if we need to go through the whole course, we'll do it. It's driver. There's no question about it. If I put up JT, DJ, Phil, Bryson, they're pulling driver here, and it's not even a question. All right, guys. So now we know it is for sure driver at his length. If you guys have any questions or think you should be iron, Eli, even if you think it's iron, you can let me know. But statistically, and the way it should work out, it should always be driver. So if you have any questions, thoughts, concerns, please share them down below. If you think it's driver all the time, please, let me know. Give me an LG in the chat. But thank you so much for listening. I know it was a little bit long-winded video, but I just wanted to explain why it's not iron, but it's also driver. So thanks, guys. You have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.